Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to learn the alphabet in Spanish. So the first thing that you need to know is that I'm going to give you the letters in the Spanish alphabet, and I'm going to also teach you how to pronounce correctly. And I will give you some examples of that pronunciation in the Spanish, alright? So we're going to start. Listen carefully to the alphabet. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Alright, so that was the alphabet. Now I'm going to show you the pronunciation according to some English words. We're going to check together, and I want you to practice a little bit the pronunciation with me. Alright, so we're going to start. A, the sound A, it's like in the word can. A. One word in Spanish with the sound A, abuela, like can in English. Now with the letter B, one word in Spanish would be bueno. That would be the translation in English, good. And the sound for the letter B in English would be like brother, bueno, brother. C, the letter C in Spanish, that would be like casa. The example would be casa. Alright, you write it with the C. In Spanish we pronounce it like casa. The same as in English, like can. Alright, like the same, like the first word with the A. Can. The same. Now we go with the letter D. De. In Spanish we would say dedo. In English we would say die. The next one would be A. This would be the sound in English, it's E, right? From the alphabet letter, it's E. But in Spanish would be A. Like in epic in English. In Spanish we would say Eduardo. That is a name in Spanish, Eduardo. I would say almost very similar to English, Edward. So in Spanish we also have Eduardo, and the sound is Eduardo. F. Now we go with the F. Alright, this is the way that you have to pronounce the letter in Spanish. Francisco. It's very similar to the pronunciation in English. Like in foreign, Francisco, foreign. Now we go with the next letter. G. 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 Gato. Gato. The word gato in Spanish, it's the translation in English, we would say cat. Alright? Gato. It's the letter sound g, g, gato. And in English we would say grip. Grip. Alright? The grip. You know, the grip. Now, the next letter. H. 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 Ch. H. Sometimes when we are writing in Spanish, sometimes this letter is mute. And for example, let me give you the example in Spanish. We say humo. Humo. It doesn't sound the H, but instead of that, it's like a mute. Humo. You write it humo, H, U, M, O. Humo. In English, that word would be smoke, but in Spanish we write it with an H, and it doesn't. Most of the time, it doesn't have a sound. Humo. All right. Sometimes it has a different sound when it goes combined with the C. That means CH, like ch, ch. But sometimes E, E. Now be careful, because in English we say E for the A in Spanish, and E in Spanish we say for the I in English. So be careful with that one. Now for the sound in Spanish E, we have iglesia. 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 That would be the church. Church. Iglesia. In English. Alright? And a very similar word in English would say igloo. Igloo. That is the pronunciation of that I. Igloo. Iglesia in Spanish, igloo in English. Now let's continue with the next one, would be J. J or J in English. Jicama. The same in Spanish, jicama. And that is a pronunciation for the J. K. Now let's go with the K. Ka. Ka. We're going to use an international word. I want to use kilo. Ka, kilo, kilo. That is the same in English. 2 kilos, 1 kilo, 1 kilogram, 2 kilograms. The same in Spanish. 1 kilogramo, 2 kilogramos, 3 kilogramos. Alright? So that would be the sound for the K. Now let's continue with the next one. L. We're gonna use the letter L. L. In Spanish we say L. And the same as in the previous one, we're going to use an international word. It's litros. Litro, litros. Un litro, 2 litros, 3 litros. Now, in English would be the same. 1 liter, 2 liters, 3 liters. Now we continue with the next letter. M. 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 M in Spanish we have mamá. Mamá. It's almost the same pronunciation in English as in mom. Mom. Mamá in Spanish, mom in English. Mamá. Mom. Now let's go with the next letter. N. 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 So for this letter, we're going to use the example of this word, niño. Niño. It has the letter N, N, and it also has the ñ, ñ. It's like the N, but it has like a hyphen. It has like a small line like this. All right. So the sound is a little bit different. niño. Okay? So the translation for niño in English would be kid. Kid. And a very similar word in English would be noun. Noun. Niño, noun. Niño, noun. Alright? So let's continue with the next one. Ñ in Spanish. In English it doesn't exist, but in Spanish we have it, and it's ñ. It's an N with a line, as I told you before, it's like a line. That line in Spanish we call it virgulilla. That one it's very new for you because you're learning Spanish, and in Spanish we only have that one. Virgulilla, N, together we call it ñ. Ñ. I'm going to use the previous example, ni, ño, ño, ño. Try to do it by yourself, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be difficult for you to make that sounds. Niño, ñandú, ñoño, moño. It's a little bit complex. Alright, so I couldn't find any good example in English because the sound is not common in English. So let's try to put together the letter N and the Y and try to pronounce it. Ña, ña, niño, niño. It's something very similar to that, but the sound in some words in English, they don't exist. As far as I know, the sound doesn't exist. Well, if you have a sound very similar to it in Spanish, like the ñ, you should write it below on the comments and I will check it. Alright, just write on the comments if you have an example of that sound in English. I will really appreciate it a lot. So write it on the comments and let me know if there's a sound like that in English. Complicated. Now let's continue with the next one. O. O. It's O in English. O. The example would be opera. 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 And in English we also could use it opera. But it's not like opera. In Spanish we call it's a diphthong. A diphthong is a combination of two vowel sounds. In Spanish we use it opera. Just one sound, one vowel. But in English we use it as a diphthong. Opera. O plus the U. So just omit the U sound and just use opera. 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 Okay? Oso. The bird. Oso. Oso. It's not oso. P. The next letter would be P. P. Like in English, pearl. P. Perla. Pearl in English. Perla in Spanish. Q. Q. In Spanish, we need to use the Q in combination sometimes with the U. Alright? For example, Queso in Spanish would be queso. Queso. It sounds like a K, but it's queso. In English we say cheese, right? Queso, cheese in English. And the most approximate sound for Q, queso in English would be like the K. Like kid. Queso, queso, kid. Alright? Let's continue with the next letter. R. R. R in Spanish. R. We have the word ratón. Ratón. When you are using your computer, you need to grab the ratón and move to choose anything you want from the screen. Mouse in English, ratón in Spanish. So the sound it's a little bit strong in English. Like it's not like in prison, it's a little bit harder. Like in wraith. Okay? Wraith, ratón, R, R. Okay, let's continue with the next letter. S. 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 Sopa in Spanish, in English, soup. Sopa in Spanish, soup in English. Now let's continue with the next letter. T. 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 For this sound, it's very similar to the pronunciation in English. We have train in English and we have tren in español, in Spanish. Tren in Spanish, train in English. So we continue. The next letter would be U, U, la letra U, okay, the U. In Spanish, we say, so for the letter U in English, U in Español, we are going to use the example of universidad, 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 university in English. Now the sound universidad, it's very similar to the word would in English. We use would, u, okay? Would, universidad. Now let's continue with the next letter. V, we have the V. We have the example vaca, okay? We should pronounce it like V, like in English, in Spanish, vaca, but that is not the case. Most of the time we just say vaca, and there is no problem. The problem is when you are writing, you cannot write vaca with the B de burro, B. No, it's not correct. You should write it with the V, okay? Vaca. So I think you don't have an inconvenience with that sound. It's like the vibration in English, and we have example in Spanish, vaca. Now let's continue to the next letter. W, 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 W. The same in Spanish. It's like the literal translation. W, W. I actually don't know if there is a word in Spanish with W. I don't know. If you know one word that it's 100% in Spanish and it writes with W, write it down in the comments. Okay, send me a message and I will let me know, because I really don't know if there exists. But in Spanish we use some words from different languages like whiskey, and it's the same pronunciation, whiskey, W, whiskey, or Wendy, or William, or water polo, or Wilson. It's the same pronunciation, okay? Now let's go with the next letter. X, 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 X. Now with the X in Spanish we have the word xilófono, xilófono. There are several pronunciations depending on the region, because there are some words in Spanish that they have the intermediate X, like michiotes. In some places we say michiotes, the X is pronounced like sh. And in some other places they pronounce mixiotes, like the X, mixiotes. So I think that there is no inconvenience with that. Michiotes, by the way, it's like a kind of food that we serve here in Mexico, and it's delicious. You should try it. I'm serious. You should try it because it's delicious, but it's spicy. All right, so we continue with Y. Y. That is the Y in English. Y. Now the pronunciation for this one, it's like in the word in Spanish, yo-yo, yo-yo, you know, the yo-yo. And finally, let's go to the last letter from the alphabet. It's Z, right? The Z. Zeta, zeta. And we're gonna use the word in Spanish, zapato, zapato. Shoes in English, zapatos, zapato. In Spanish, zapato. And the pronunciation is like the S, like the Z in English, but we don't make the vibration like in English. We only say zapato, zapato. Not that vibration, not a lot. It's just like very soft. Zapato. And alright, that would be it. That would be the alphabet in Spanish. So that would be it. Like the video, share it, and if you have more friends that they want to learn or they want to travel to Mexico here and they want to learn Spanish, or also they want to work here, or they have friends that they speak only Spanish, share the video with them and teach them a little bit more. I will be uploading more videos later, so stay tuned, and hasta luego. Nos vemos. Adiós.